Morning, welcome back to the channel. A bit of an unusual one because you're in my front room and not out on the roads. But I thought I've had this bike 3 months now and I thought it was time I'd give you some of the negatives of it and try to help you out if you're thinking about buying one. So let's check out and see what these negatives are. Yeah, so I've had the bike 3 months and I thought it was time to give me the negatives of the bike. Try and help you use that if you're thinking about buying one. What it was I intentionally bought the bike first for commuting to work. I've got a 6 mile round trip to work, and I thought the one buy system would be enough gearing for me to get to work. I've got a few hills on the way back home, and I thought it would be enough. And that's what I want to talk about. The negatives, depending what you're going to use the bike for. So my first negative is, so number one is the group set. The Micro Shift Advent X. Now, for the price of it, I think the whole overall group set is around about £200. So you can't be too hard on it, but for what I need it for, if you were getting this bike and you're going to use it on the road a lot, I'd probably not recommend getting the bike because the gearing for me, for roads, it's not great. When you're on flat, no problem. When you start becoming a little bit where you get into a grade of around 2% to 7%, the gear ratio just doesn't work out. It's like either you're grinding too much or you're spinning too much. The difference in the middle gear ratio is just poor for me for on the roads. And I could probably change the cassette and probably see if I could buy that. But this is what you get on the bike, and this is why I'm reviewing what you get with the bike, and that's what I'm finding. It is quite clunky as well, and obviously this is the 2022 version. They brought a newer version out recently, a 2023 one, and on this one you don't have the chain stay on the front, so there is potential that your chain could come off. There is a clutch, tighten up the gear when you're going over tough gravel. But on the newer version, apparently they have put a chainstay on it, but this one hasn't. So there is the potential that your chain could slip off on this. But other than that, for me, when it's on gravel, you've got no problem. If you are going to use this bike just solely off for gravel, then there's no problem with this Micro Shift group set. It is perfectly fine. I've been on the Grisdale trails on it, and I've loved it. I've absolutely loved it on there. It's just that I usually use this bike for commuting to work, and I'm finding I probably could do with changing the group set. But that's my first negative. Let's get to the next ones. So my next one is the brakes. Now, I'm used to hydraulic brakes, so this might be a little bit unfair if you're used to mechanical brakes. But once you've got the hydraulic brakes, you probably never want to go back to mechanical brakes. They're a game changer. But this comes with mechanical brakes. Not only does it come with mechanical brakes, these are probably the worst brakes I've ever had on a bike. I do not know why, but they make since I've had the bike, they make a hell of a horrible noise. I've had the discs off, I've had the rotors off, I've fully cleaned them with disc braking cleaner. I've done everything. I've done basically MI5, looking for a serial killer, to clean the whole thing to make them so they were perfect to ride, and they're still making a hell of a horrible noise. I've even took them to my local bike shop and said, can you sort this noise out? It's doing me head in. They've done all sorts as well, and it just won't have it. I just assumed it's probably the cheap discs and the cheap rotors, maybe what comes with a bike, and it's just because of the price. They work fine, but it's just annoying, the horrible squeaky, horrible noise. And obviously I'm probably going to definitely upgrade them to the hydraulic brakes, and I'm used to them and I like them, and so that's another one of my negatives. So the final negative, this is probably not going to affect your ride, but it's just how the bike looks. This horrible, stupid, the gear lever wire just pops out the side of your lever and it just looks stupid. God knows why they haven't come in like all other levers and gone around the handlebars under the tape and then come out. This one just fires out in front of you. It gets in sometimes in the way your computer, or if you've got a I sometimes put my GoPro on the front, and sometimes you see the gear wire going right across the screen. It is just absolute stupid and looks stupid, and that's probably another reason why I want to change the group set and try and get one what looks more appealing to look for. I know this probably sounds daft, but it's just one of the negatives I find. Now, hopefully this has helped. If you need any more questions, please put in the comments, and obviously like and subscribe because that helps my channel. Hopefully I'll be back out on the bike. Have a look through my videos. I've got loads of videos where I go up the Lake District and show you the beautiful Lake District, and have a look at the videos. I've put them here when I took this bike up at the Grisdale Forest. You can see how it gets on up there. If you're looking for a cheap bike, what can go on gravel, and you're only going to use it on gravel, this is perfect for that. And I'll probably do a video on the positives of it, which will probably go into that sort of thing. So stay tuned for that, and obviously subscribe so you don't miss it. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.